Picture this. It's early 1980s in Philadelphia. The city isn't the polished skyline you might think of today. It's raw, it's gritty. Entire neighborhoods are dealing with poverty, crime, and a system that feels like it forgot about them. This isn't Hollywood crime. This is real life. And out of that reality came a voice that didn't sugarcoat anything. That voice belonged to Schoolie D.
Me, Schoolie D isn't just a character. Schoolie D is a life. This is my life.
Before the world knew gangster rap, before the controversies, the headlines, and the cultural debates, there was a man telling street stories, exactly how they were. No filter, no apologies. To understand Schoolie D, you have to understand the environment. In parts of Philadelphia, during the late 70s and early 80s, jobs were disappearing. Factories were closing. Communities were being hit hard by drugs, violence, and the lack of opportunity. Young people didn't grow up dreaming of corporate jobs. They grew up surviving. Hip-hop at that time was mostly party music. Think about the early pioneers like Grandmaster Flash or Afrika Bambaataa. They brought messages, rhythm, and culture. But Schoolie D, he brought street reality. The birth of gangster rap. In 1985, Schoolie D dropped a track that would quietly change everything. We're talking about PSK.
One Saturday night, so I know I was feeling alright. Dear my homie called me on the phone. His name is Chief, but we call him Bone.
PSK stood for Parkside Killers, a real street crew out of Philly, the southwest section of Philly. This wasn't storytelling in the traditional sense. This was documentation. His delivery was slow, calm, almost casual, which made it even more intense. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't dramatizing. He was just telling you what it was. And that style, it became the blueprint of gangster rap. Here's what made Schoolie D so different. He wasn't trying to be radio friendly. He didn't clean up his lyrics. He didn't separate entertainment from reality. He blurred the line between the two. The authenticity hit people differently. One of the most important rap figures was influenced by him. He goes by the name of Ice-T.
No, I'm a realist. There's no angle.
Ice-T has openly said that after hearing PSK, he created 6 in the Morning, which became one of the first West Coast gangster rap records.
6 in the morning, police at my door. Fresh Adidas squeak across the bathroom floor.
Well, when we were at Jimmy Fallon, you were telling me that story about when you first heard PSK in Santa Monica.
Yep. Well, when I heard PSK, I was hustling, and we were at a club in Santa Monica. It was downstairs, and the record came on. It was the beat, like, and at that time everybody was yelling on records, you know. And then all of a sudden, Schoolie said, "PSK, we making that green." People always say, "What the hell does that mean?" Peace for the people. The cadence was so different and stuff. So I was like, yo. So I went the next day, I went after the record. I was like, I figured this, what the fuck was that record? I think I went to the DJ booth. They said, it's PSK, Schoolie D. What's Schoolie D? So we go to the record store, we ended up getting the record. Then I found out he had Gucci Time. He had all kinds of good records. But they said, PSK, that's Parkside Killers.
Artists were listening, studying, and taking notes. And that ripple effect, as gangster rap started to rise in the late 80s and early 90s, especially on the West Coast, the themes Schoolie D introduced became dominant. Street life narratives, anti-established tones, raw storytelling. Groups like NWA took it further, adding aggression, politics, and nationwide attention. But the DNA traces back to Philadelphia, to Schoolie D.
We're supposed to be talking about something.
Talking about what?
What rap people talk about. Yo, man, I had this idea with this death, dope, doo-doo chunky. Word?
Why don't you just...
Chill.
A lot of the things that were written in some of the English magazines were just fictitious, stuff that they made up themselves.
They just made up this, well, Schoolie D is the perfect gangster from America. Cars, guns, drugs, women. And it was like, they don't realize that half America is like that. So I guess half of America is gangsters.
History doesn't always reward the first person. It often rewards the loudest or the most visible. Schoolie D was early, too early in my opinion. By the time gangsta rap became mainstream, other artists had bigger platforms, bigger budgets, and more immediate exposure. But ask the artists themselves, they know. Schoolie D was the first gangsta rapper. Schoolie D is still respected as a pioneer. He didn't chase trends. He didn't reinvent himself for the industry. He stayed authentic. Over the years, he's been involved in music, DJing, and even scoring for television shows. He may not be dominant in headlines like modern rappers, but his fingerprints are everywhere. Every time you hear rappers speak on real street experiences, every time authenticity becomes more important than polish, you're hearing echoes of Schoolie D.
Our sound is raw. Very raw. It's like we say things that other MCs wish they could say, or want to say, scared to say, because the record companies won't let them say. So, 'cause I have my own record.
Before the controversy, before the industry caught up, there was a man in Philadelphia telling the truth. And whether people were ready or not, he made them listen. And he told the truth. And that truth, it built a whole new lane in hip-hop. Artists like Ice-T and NWA took it global. But it started with him. So if you're chasing something right now, don't wait to be accepted. Be original, be real, and don't be afraid to go first. Because sometimes the ones who start the movement don't get the spotlight.